When I first left my audio recording school, I was a dropout. That's how you can always tell the good ones. They're dropouts. Or the ones who just can't afford to keep going. They drop out. And I knew I had to get my own recording set up. I thought I needed Pro Tools. Wrong. We're talking back in 2012. I knew I needed an amplifier. I knew I needed the capability to do reamping. I'll explain. I knew I needed great plugins, killer plugins. I thought I needed an ISO cabinet. Turns out most of that stuff, I was wrong. Then how was I supposed to know? You can be in this business for a long time. You probably still don't really know what you're doing. Musicians are weird people. We're weirdos. I wear leather pants with a little butt flap so I can go to the bathroom. So my recording setup consisted of my amplifier, which is I still use the same amplifier. I've had two of these. I really like them. I've owned several different amplifiers, as most unprofessional guitarists do. Most professional guitarists own a bunch of amplifiers, I would think. I don't know because I'm not one. A Line 6 Spider Jam amp, which is a fantastic amp. It's a 1x12, so one 12-inch speaker. I had an Avid 11 rack processor going into Pro Tools 10. Inside my computer, I had the studio monitor speakers, my reference monitors that I use right now. So an ISO cabinet is just a big box of wood that has insulation on the inside, acoustic insulation that helps to keep the noise down so you don't make all your neighbors mad. My buddy Jeremy, he used to make cabinets. He knew how to build big boxes. I did not. So I handed him tools while he built big box for me. It was a nice big box. It was great. Held my amplifier, but carting that thing around, whoa, that was a big box. I was convinced I needed all of these things to make a sound that was equal to, choose your name, big budget studio. So my first song was number 4087 in E. I can put a link in the description to my album. You can listen to that song if you want. That song was mixed and mastered at a pro studio out in Mesa, Arizona. That studio, while they did the mixing, the reamping, and the mastering of that song, I recorded the whole thing at home in my bedroom with my Avid 11 rack. From then on, because of the cost of doing that album, of making that album, I decided I had to learn to do my own reamping, my own mixing, and I would go ahead and hire someone to do the mastering. If I knew then what I knew now, here's the way I would approach it. Modern computers, they're all so fast. The processing is so good with them that, in my opinion, you don't need something like an outboard processor for your guitar emulation sound. So you can go ahead and do all that in software. So you've already cut down on external gear you have to use. You're not carrying around an amplifier. You're not carrying around a big guitar hardware emulation processor. I do recommend learning how to do your own mixing the best you can, because that is a very expensive thing. If you hire it out to a big studio, like I did, it may cost you $100 an hour. It might cost more. We're dealing with inflation. Everything's bonkers right now. You got to think of these things. So think of $100 an hour. Let's say someone spends 7 hours mixing up one song for you, and you tell them, because you've never done this before, right? So someone mixes a song for you, And then you call them and you say, I like the mix, but they say, okay, I'll go ahead and fix it. Well, meanwhile, they're fixing it. They're still running the clock. They're racking up the bill. And you're going to have to pay it, or you won't get that song and you'll be blacklisted. How do you learn how to mix? Well, I'll tell you what I did, and what I do not regret doing one bit. Signing up and paying fiat currency to Bobby Owsinski's plan on learning how to mix, whatever his membership plan is. Let's see, back when I got it, it was $300 or $400. And it's a complete course to learn how to mix and learn the different tricks and the ways of handling special situations when you're mixing. As far as reamping goes, as far as using a real amplifier and real microphones, using a ribbon microphone, using a microphone on the back of the guitar cabinet and on the front of the guitar cabinet, and comb filtering and SM57s and Royers and AKGs, and those are microphones. Doing all that, in my opinion, has very, very little benefit compared to other things. I'm not saying that it has no benefit. In the right hands, I suppose that could be very potent. But let's say your return on investment's a curve. You're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, getting from total crappy project up higher on that curve really fast by basic songwriting techniques and having good quality mixing and good quality plugins for guitar emulations. And I think there are a lot of them out there. I'm not going to go around naming certain ones. Guitar Rig 6 Pro, Amplitude, the native stuff that comes with Studio One. But you can save your fiat, save your currency. You can buy things that have the biggest return on investment for you. Focus on getting the best product you can. Now, you're not going to be able to control whether people like it or not, but you'll be able to control your performance, your recording quality, your mixing ability to some degree, as best your ears will allow, and time and trial and error. Don't be afraid of doing things in software. Some people will argue that, oh man, you've got to have a 4x12 Marshall cabinet. You need your tubes and they're on fire. Otherwise, your product's going to be junk and everybody's going to know it. Andrew Sheps, a famous mix engineer, I think I said his name right. He said the only thing that matters is what comes out of the speakers. No one cares how you got there. No one cares what emulation you used, or if you used a real amp and a $5,000, fancy old ribbon microphone once used by some famous blah, 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 blah. Oh, I could definitely hear the difference. Really? And then I want to know how you can tell. If you can tell. Tell me. You tell me how you can tell, and I'll tell you. I'm dating your mom. Things I wish I'd known